Mm. Yes. So, I'm going to try and build a Turing machine if I can. And I thought perhaps some of you might like to hang out while I did. Yeah, that's kind of it. Bear with me. This may not actually be very fun, by the way. This might be really boring. Because it's just watching a guy like Solder. Should I say Solder? I may also tell some people that I'm actually doing this. To that end, bear with me 1 second. If you're watching this back, I told you this was boring. It might not work. I very nearly pasted my stream key into Twitter. That's not ideal. You should not do that. Although, I guess I'm using it. Hello everyone, by the way. And hello. The other good thing is that I can actually see where I'm at right now. I can see the screen, so I can see your questions and things that you say. So feel free to, I don't know, shout at me. While we fodder, I hope you're all well. This is probably not very fun for a lot of people. I hope everyone's well, genuinely, because things are pretty rubbish right now for a lot of people. So, life continues. How lucky for me. So, hello everyone, by the way, and also I imagine there's lots more people that have built more Turing machines than I have. I have built a Turing machine in the past. It was like years ago, but it was like the really, really old one, and it was in the time where you couldn't get a kit. And of course, now we have Thonk. So thank you, Thonk. This is look, I've got a ATEM Mini Pro. This is the Blackmagic ATEM, which is very slick, so I can flip cameras. Look at that, so professional. But yes, you can get kits, and that just makes life easier. Hello, everyone. Hello. I actually need to read the instructions. This is where I dangerously start to multitask. A fool's errand, because I kind of need to concentrate. Because I really want this to work. And the reason I've already got a Turing machine. I've got two, actually. Oh, my mic sounds distant. I can turn myself up. I can always be louder. Yeah, I've got two, but I want three. I would like more. I mean, genuinely, I don't think you can have enough Turing machines, quite frankly. So, yeah, I want loads. Because it's just the best. So, to build a Turing machine, by the way, I don't know if this will be entertaining. I'm really sorry. It's just me building a Turing machine, and I thought I would stream it. So, to build a Turing machine, you have to empty the bags into separate bowls or containers so it makes it easier to find parts. They don't specify which parts to put in which container, nor do I have containers. There's a mech bag, there's a full DIY thing that contains all these other little useful looking things. I'm going to put resistors and stuff over here. I'm going to put capacitors over here. Yeah. Oh, you want more volume? Well, I definitely can turn myself up. That is definitely possible. Hang on. Hello. Boom. Oh, that's maybe a bit loud. Don't want to be too loud. I'll turn myself down. And by the way, I mean, if you think that there's going to be, you're going to learn anything about how to build a Turing machine, I think that's not necessarily correct. You're just going to see me attempt to do it, because there are really good instructions here, which is, you can actually see this, but there is a PDF that Thonk link you to, and anyone can go and look at, and it's got step-by-step stuff. And I imagine it's fairly well kind of, fairly well thought through. When I did the original Turing machine, it wasn't, it was reasonably well thought through, but you had to get all the parts separately, and it was just more of a pain. Do you know what I mean? So yes. 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 Is the volume okay, by the way? I'm not sure why it wouldn't be loud enough. Anyway. Start with, put things in a bowl. I don't care about the bowl. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to put this over here. I have very limited space. Yes, stickers. That's actually one of the more important parts of this kit. PCBs, resistors. Some of these are yellow, and some of these are white. I don't know if that signifies anything, but good. I'm glad we've achieved a good volume. Thank you, people, for confirming. Okay. It's good, isn't it? Yeah, I want more Turing machines because I like the idea of having multiple Turing machines going at once. So, like, multiple sequences. I also like the idea of having Turing machines for doing, like, modulation whilst also, doing sequencing. Oh, tonal axis. Yes, I will say hi to your son, Alex. Alex, apparently you're not feeling very well. I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope you get well soon. Be well. Take the medicine. If it's being offered to you. I know that feeling. I know the feeling of having a son who doesn't always want to take the medicine. Ours is actually pretty good. He now knows, he's like, yes, to Calpol, please. Okay, so let's actually build this thing. So we need the PCB first. Sam Denitried. Is it true that you have a massive beard now? Do you know, my dear friend Lightbath commented on a video that he saw me in and was like, Alex, your beard is incredible. You grow a beard. I was like, I've had a beard for 10 years. 10 years. But the difference is that I've slightly kind of bulked it out because I watched some YouTube videos about how to groom your beard. So just slightly kind of improved the shape and structure. Beard talk. Beard talk with Myla Melodies. Yeah, I'm not starting a grooming YouTube channel. I recommend other people's. Let's move to the wide shot here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So we start with this PCB. We find the 10K resistors. 10K. Yes. The letters match. This is the problem. I'm trying to stay vaguely aware of what's going on, what people are saying, but then also I need to concentrate. It's a problem. Oh, I see. There should be 10 10K resistors, and there's 10 of these, so therefore I trust these are the 10K resistors. And 6 of them are required for this. Solder the 6 10K resistors. Okay. Okay, Tom. So I'm looking at the PCB. It actually does say. Here somewhere. Is this in focus? I am very much a measure twice, cut once person when it comes to soldering. And it's stood me in good stead. Being really unsure, like, did I just dream that? Is that actually what they just said to do? Is that what they said to do? Is it here? Is it there? It's there, isn't it? And doing that like loads of times and being slightly weird about it has meant that I've actually never had a build that didn't work. Actually, with one exception, funnily enough, which was a Turing machine. Because, oh no, it was radio music. When I built the radio music, it didn't work, but it was because I'd bridged a solder gap. Or there were two bits that were like, blobbed together that shouldn't have been. This feels like it really wants to not go in there. Look, I'm going to use this little like cool thing that someone sent me, which was very kind of them. After they saw me like struggling to sort out a build, they sent me this, which was very sweet of them because you use it to bend the parts. And I've done a really bad job of that. Jesus, I can't even get like one part in. This is going really well. It just feels like that doesn't, like the gap isn't big enough. I want it to sit flush and look really nice, but it won't. How committed am I to having my resistor being totally flush to the thing? Yeah, probably not going to happen, is it? Okay, let's not sweat. So that was R16. Probably should do this in order. R1. Kev says, are you the man who fixed my base station 2? If you have a really broken base station 2, then yeah, that could have been my handiwork. I have fixed things in the past reasonably. My most triumphant thing was when I bought a mixer, and it was like, when I plugged it in, it was really intermittent and it kind of wasn't working properly. And I recapped the power supply. I recapped it and I felt like an absolute genius when I did. The focus is not ideal here, is it? Yeah, I was like, I'm a genius. I've recapped my power supply and it worked really well now. And it was literally just a case of desoldering the capacitors, finding ones with the same value that were like, quality ones. R15. And then soldering them into place. I felt like a genius. Shout out, by the way, to Thonks, Japanese solder sucker. That is a great sucker. That sucker is great. That really sucks. Oh, man. These are all, they aren't going to sit flush. This is a problem. It doesn't look very good. What's the trick here? Is there a trick? Anyway. What if this is entertainment? I'm the Queen of France, watching a man in England struggling with resistors. So R8, R15, R16, excuse me. Where's R1 when it's at home? There's R14. Let's not forget about that one. Joke's on anyone watching this. I mean, what are you doing with your Friday night? Ed Random comments, resistors come in many sizes and maybe they're bigger than what the board demanded. Yeah, I think you're right. Because there's no way these will ever sit completely flush. It just kind of makes me feel like I've, if you saw it and if I tried to sell you it, you'd be like, that's crap, isn't it? What clown has made this? But I'm like, no, it works. It's fine. I did what I was told. Oh, that's a good tip, Eric. Use pliers. Would that I have any tools. Yeah, where are my pliers? Mm. 1 second, please, caller. It's a really good suggestion. It's one of the great suggestions, but my pliers are in a garage somewhere and I can't be bothered to go and get them. Hi. Oh, these just look terrible. Hopefully Tom Whitwell doesn't see this. Would have been funny if I just like forgot that I was doing this and just went off. Oh yeah, the internet is just waiting to see the conclusion to this ripping entertainment. Well now, there's one that says that it's an R24 and it's 10K. Oh, no, yeah, R24 is there on that little list. I'm just like, I just don't trust. I follow the instructions to the letter. I do as I'm told. Do you know, I really wish I had some pliers to pull that through. I can't believe it. How do I not have... I guess I just don't really do anything that's like heavy duty enough to... These are all sort of like light tasks. I've got wire strippers, but they're not the same. I'll have to do... God, look at that. Diabolical. It just looks awful. But it's fine. It will work. It's like making a meal. It'll taste good. Even if it doesn't look great. Hang on, so I've done 6 of these things. Our long nightmare is over. Patrick, you don't want to see my garage. It's not pretty. It's a fix music. Hi, mate. Well, I did that. That's the thing I did. Solder the resistors. Okay. Well, I'm looking at the picture. Does mine look like the picture? I mean, I'm not kidding when I say I'm like, all I'm doing here is just putting resistors in, but I'm like, have I got it right? Is it good? Yes, I think so. Let's plug in the soldering iron. What could possibly go wrong? Soldering. It's my scientific way of checking that I've actually turned it on correctly. Let me just sort of sort out this camera so it's in focus. Is it in focus? Kinda. Can zoom in a little bit. Well. Toasty. While we're waiting for that to warm up, anyone know any good jokes? I'll tell you a really great joke. That's how much solder I've got. Although I do have some like mini solder for doing like SMT stuff, which we just may have to try and make work. Otherwise, this will be a very short stream. And you all have my apologies for sitting thinking you were going to see something work, and in fact, doesn't even get built. Joke's on you. I've actually got a drink. Cheers. It's gin and tonic. It steadies my hand. I mean, it really does. I mean, there are other resistors to get in. What should I get? Like, should I put all the other resistors in? I mean, they're like... Why would I solder these in? Do you know what I mean? Like, I often like to have the... Like, if you're going to heat the solder thingy up, I believe it's called an iron. Why not just solder more? Or is it? I don't know. The group says do all the resistors at once. I like this. This is egging me on. Well, at the very least, there is a 47k resistor that needs to go in. Somewhere. My kingdom for a 47k. Oops. Here it is. There's one 47k, so where are you, friend? Here you are. Oop. That's R6. Helpfully marked actually on the instructions. It points a big arrow. It's down here. Here we go. Look at that. It's just never going to go. Oh, come now. Yeah. Cool. And there's 100k to go into R4. 10. Was this what the whole like bowls were for? Am I being blind? Where's the... Was it in my hand? Where's the 10k? Am I being stupid? Because that's possible. Nope. Oh. Why is this a different colour? Why is this yellow? They're in there. That just makes me feel these don't belong together, but I guess they do. And Dawson asks, do you need to test each component before putting it in? No, but a very, very useful thing that was pointed out by a lot of people who, in a previous live stream, were screaming at this screen, saying, for God's sake, get your multimeter out, because you can use a multimeter as a way of checking the value of resistors. A fact that, you know, how to do, which I have long since forgotten, but it was helpfully pointed out to me. In fact, I think if I recall, folks had a div kid phone me during the live stream because I wasn't looking at the screen, that is brilliant. And he was like, for the love of God, use a multimeter. So I think this is 100K. R4. Where's R4? There's R4. FX says he measures because you can't see the coloured rings. I agree with you. I think even if I'm not colourblind, but good grief. I mean, obviously, if you're colourblind, you just like resistors are awful because you wouldn't be able to see them. But even just trying to see the colours is a nightmare. So, yes, using a multimeter is good. Is there not a camera app that can work out, like, you know, an AI sort of clever learning thing? I actually have some of those ridiculous glasses, like the sort of magnifier glasses, the ones that that Sigourney Weaver wears in Ghostbusters 2. Not those exact ones. That would be amazing, but same kind of thing. Well, it's fairly shambolic, but it's my shambolic, so let's just solder it. Right, I think that's it. Oh, there's diodes as well. I feel like diodes are kind of fair game as well. Just get them in. Life's too short, mate. And I mean, the thing with diodes that's really cool is you can put them in any direction, can't you? That's right, isn't it? I'm joking. That's a joke. Diodes have to go in the correct direction. Words. I just turned my phone around to look at the back of my phone. That wasn't very helpful. It's all going so well. I don't know if they're in there. Where are you, friends? Fuses? Fuses are no, they're not diodes. Oh, look, yes, that's it. I feel like there should be some significance to the colour of the bags, but I'm not sure that there is. One in 4001. That most catchily named of diodes. It's the little thing, it's these little doofers, isn't it? What's this? These big, like big black barrels here are not. Guess they're not it because they don't have orientation things. I'm holding up to the camera. Maybe you can tell me if you can see them. Yeah, it's got to be these because they've got the little like rings, the little like orientation rings. Freak. Ah, thank you, Tonal Axis. Well, I don't know which ones are the 4000 ones. You mean it's these, isn't it? These little doofers with the little silver bit. Are these the things that Eurorack people piss and moan when a brand doesn't include? Oh, it's just it would cost 1 cent to include diodes, protection diodes. I mean, you'd have to ask Tom Whitwell or Steve from Thonk if it is 1 cent, but a penny at 1 pence. I think they go in here. And I think the main thing is to respect the direction. And it actually says there's a little picture line here. So keep the little light ring on the right. acid energies, dissing the fact that I've got a bending gauge. Is that actually the technical term for it? But I'm not using it. No, that's true, and I apologise. It was really kindly sent to me by someone after they saw me struggling. But the problem is, let me introduce you to these little buggers, which don't sit flush because the width is not quite right. So it meant there's just no use, just adding unnecessary time to what will already be a stream that is far too long and is not entertaining in any way, shape, or form. Okay, that is the right way around. Was it you, by the way, who sent me that? PS. Because I have been using it, and if you've only just joined, the stream will prove I did try, and I will continue to try using it once we move past these little buggers, which just, look, it's not sitting flush, so the width is wrong, so it doesn't help, unfortunately. Thank you very much. It was you. Yeah, thank you. This really baffled me. You sent me this, and I mean, the joke was you were like, work out what it is. And I was just like, it's a skyscraper. It's a model of Sears Tower. But yes, the penny dropped at length. The penny dropped. So thank you. It is actually very cool. It's just, and let's use it here because the width of these is fine. Ferrite beads. Eric Spellerberg says, I'm following a Digitag tutorial with this on in the background. Can you tell me which tutorial? And I could try and do an impression of the guy and see if I can like screw up your learning. Oh, I'm supposed to use this. I'm so sorry. What do we do? That's how you do it, isn't it? Boom. There you go. Ah, look at that. Textbook anglification. This is where it doesn't really sit flush. See, it's out to get me. Damn. See, look, I'm trying. It's annoying. It doesn't quite sit flush very well. Flush enough. Yeah, well, it's flush enough for rock and roll. Or techno. Is that a phrase? Flush enough. That one, look at that. That just sat down beautifully. What did I do? How did I go so wrong on the last one? Oh, it's disappointing. I would like to. Alum. The resistors are making you feel nervous. Yes, well, they are very badly made. Would that I have some experience building fine Eurorack equipment. Alas, I don't. Okay, that's basically all flat things. So I'm going to solder these now. You think my bending's good? Wait till you see my soldering. I have shaky hands. Volatile asks, will this be available later? I'm afraid it will. I'm so sorry. Yes, it will. So, how are you? How's your tip? Is it shiny? Look at that. Oh, yes, the good stuff. Huff that. Well, you're not meant to huff it, are you? The pliers thing has been brought up, Alan, and I've not got any. Are you serious? I can solder them like this. We don't need the clearance. There are many Turing machines, but this one will be mine. Excuse me. Oi. This is going well, isn't it? Oh, man, annoying. The cable is like, oh. I need a solder station like one of those bad boy hackos. Now let's compare them to Tom Whitwell's pictures of... I need my like Sigourney Weaver glasses on. Then I'll be able to see what I was doing. Because for the cameras I have to like stand back. I actually might get it because we don't use sponges here. Look, I have wire wool. I used to use sponge. Sponges suck. Literally. They really do. The wire wool is much better. Excuse me. Yep. Well, this one can't be soldered as badly as my first one that I built, and that still works after like 4 years or 5 years probably, maybe more. God. I actually am going to get these glasses because I can't really see this properly because I'm with the cameras in the way. It's actually really hard to see what is going on. Excuse me. Hi. Sorry, I'm going to have to totally ignore you all, but if you hear screams, I'll be fine. It all grows back. quite hard to get the angle. I've soldered those two wires together, but they will get snipped. Come on. Oh my god, that's really unwieldy. And that is why they say do the resistors first, because otherwise you've just got a complete mess of crisscross wires. But ain't nobody got time for that. No, these are actually really quite hard to get a hold of. Ow. Metal gets hot when heated. Well done. When you apply heat to metal, it takes on the heat. It then transfers very efficiently into your flesh. Ugh. Well, I'm still here. Oh my god, I can hardly see. Whoa, okay. How are those? Right. How are we doing? Let's snip. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, pull your focus. Cheers. I am rolling out of solder, that is true. But I have got some really like thin gauge stuff, so I've actually got like a little one of these little jazzy magnifiers. It's just actually is quite useful for checking that you soldered everything, which is usually the like mistake I tend to make, is not soldering everything. Excuse me while I just lift this. You can all sort of see what I'm doing. Did I solder every joint? Yes. Yes, I did. I'm a professional. Professional what? Let the record state that I do have a really nice, slim little snipper that I bought from thonk.co.uk. Thonk.co.uk. But I don't know where it is, because my studio is a place of chaos. I mean, literally, yesterday, my wife basically suggested that she may choose to just go and live somewhere else because of the state of my studio. And she had a point, and I went to IKEA and I bought, I wouldn't say like Fjellberg or what is it, but isn't that PewDiePie? I bought the sort of trestle. They do those really nice like raising trestles, and some tabletops, because I had all my gear on a fridge and old like boards. And it's a long story, but basically I don't have a proper I'm currently in what will be a living room, and I need to build a garden studio, which is going to be awesome, but expensive and quite a lot of work, and we're not there yet. So in the meantime, I've got this kind of very makeshift studio, which is not ideal, but I'll tell you, it's a lot better for 200 quid's worth of IKEA tables. At least I can have, like, I've got stuff at a good height and it looks a bit tidier. Oh my God. There we go. Well. There you go. Resistors and diodes. Resistors are futile. Oh, Tristan, you built a Turing machine and it's not working. I'm sorry to hear that. But I may be joining you soon, so don't worry. I'm sure you're in good company. Yeah, it's a pain. I mean, that's the only thing I would really, I'm doing this on camera because I'm like, well, I might as well. And it's something for people who are into modular synths to look at. But if I wasn't doing this on camera, I'd probably be concentrating more. And it is really important just to like concentrate and actually make sure you're not doing anything stupid, because it's easily done. The thing is, I found weirdly, like, I think when you're less experienced in a twisted sense, you can be better at making kits, because as long as you don't trust yourself, and as long as you accept that you don't really know what you're doing, and therefore you should double, triple, quadruple check everything. I find that has been a good policy. Like, I've never built anything that didn't, well, I was saying earlier that, I built a radio music that didn't work immediately, but the fix was really straightforward. Okay, so what's next, friend? I see sockets. I see dead people. I see sockets. Mech bag. Mech. That's a cool word, isn't it? Mech. Sounded cool when they wrote it. Yeah. And it's just physical things. Things that hold things. That's technically mechanical. My modular journey, do you know, I have truly got smaller snips, but I don't know where they are. So I guess in effect I don't, because on a previous stream, I was using like a really bad like module holder, and someone donated me like £10 during the stream, and with it I purchased this little bad boy. And if you see like the new Apple, the like Apple Studio drop, or the Mac Studio, there's one of these in the background. I was like, Apple have got better stuff than that, surely. Maybe not, maybe it was just a prop. So we soldered the 8 IC sockets. They can go either way as well, which is cool. So just put them in either way. Don't worry about any notches. Okay, I'm sorry, I will mind the notches. Notches on the right. Nope. That doesn't fit, does it? That fits. Thank you, Kelsynth. I'm not sure the world agrees with you, but if I was going to do this anyway, I might as well put a camera on it. And you can all see me attempt to do this. I don't think I'm necessarily going to finish this tonight, because literally, it literally says in the instructions, go to bed. It says, go, Tom Whitwell says, Tom says, go to bed now. It's past your bedtime. Because it says, you'll build a better module if you are well rested, sir. Like, come on. And yeah, I mean, with regard to diagnosing modules, it is one thing I found that's, I'm sure you're the same, is that it's really hard to, like, see solder joints. Like, there's a funny effect that when you shine a light on a PCB, like, everything kind of shines bright, and it's actually, I find it really hard to discern, like, the quality of the solder joints and, like, whether they're soldered at all. Do you know what I mean? It's like the sort of little bright, like the bright little rings all just kind of blend into one. So it's actually, I find it really hard to do. Oh, hello. It's Thonk Synth DIY. What have they ever done for us, eh? I don't know who from Thonk Synth DIY this could be, but shout out to the chefs. I'm building the thing. Yeah, I like the go to bed instruction in the instructions, like, go to bed. Get out of there. Go to bed. That, I mean, you know, I'm a grown up. I can do what I want. You can't tell me what to do. Mom. Yeah, Mom. You can't tell me to go to bed. But Mom probably has a point. Well, there's no Mr. Thong, if it's Steve or anyone else. Is there a tip for soldering in ICs in a way that they don't all just come out? I have, like, put masking tape on them before. Oh, I suppose I could just do this. Like that. That makes sense. And then you do, like, one leg, don't you, to, like, make sure that they're in. Is that the way? Is it not always the way? This is the way. If I move that out, will it stay? And then my grippiness. Look at that. That's correct, Emil. You're not allowed to go to bed until the go to bed instruction. Stay up! Even if your house is on fire because your soldering iron has fallen into your lap, or... No. I'm going to solder these. Wish me luck, everyone. Why do Americans say solder? Why? I don't get it. I mean, it's not... Literally, there is an L in it. I know that's like one of those things, but... Someone get me a Hacko for Christmas. I like soldering ICs. When you get the hang of it, you can do them all in a big row and you feel like a boss. It's the herbs. When I'm doing my synthetic, because that's how it's spelt. That's why we say aluminium. I mean, actually, there is a missing letter in the American version, isn't it? So it's sort of fair enough. It's internally consistent. Ooh, satisfying. Can you actually see this? Possibly not. I'll try and do it so you can see. God, no wonder synths are expensive. It takes ages. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. I have got a Rodecaster Pro, so I can do stupid shit like this. Which I will do when I inevitably touch this to my skin. Oh, that's a bad joint. There's literally a picture of a big bulbous joint. Don't do this. Hey, hey, hey. Tell you though, the smell of solder makes me think of like being sort of 14 at school and like doing electronics. It's like a nostalgic smell for me. Like if I mean, I must have been younger than, no. Yeah, no. That makes sense. I would have been like 14. I was thinking like, why didn't I make any synths? I was like, well, because I got into synths at like 16, so that'd be why. Not in time to make like a gristleizer or something for GCSE. Even if such a thing would have been possible then. Well, it would have been, but you'd have had to find plans and it would have been a bit advanced. Not Finlay Shakespeare, good grief, that guy. He's about 12 years old and he's like selling things to Analog Haven or whatever. Jeebus. Can't all be overachievers. I'm sure if you were like boss level 9000 soldering, you just like run it down there in like one smooth motion. And then like the little like shades would descend and you'd win some kind of award. I don't know what. You get to go to bed earlier. Actually, that would be a reward, which would be quite good. I did watch a video where Gordon Ramsay shows you how to use a knife, because I bought a nice Japanese cooking knife, well, cutting knife. Well, that's what knives are for. A kitchen knife. And there's a video with Gordon Ramsay teaching kind of knife skills, and he sharpens the knife after every single use. And I was a bit like, I don't want to pretend like I know anything more than Gordon Ramsay, because I certainly don't with regard to cooking, but I was like, you don't need to sharpen it every time, do you? I'm just thinking of that when I'm sort of keeping my soldering iron clean, but I'm like, soldering iron cleanliness is important. You actually do need to you do need to keep it clean, otherwise things do go to hell. Synthetic is not a Santoku knife, although I did think about getting a Santoku. I forget the name of it, but it's a Japanese handmade knife, but it's a kind of made in the style of sort of Western kitchen knives. So it's is it Gyuto, I think is the style, where it's a bit more, it looks a bit more the shape of like a kind of, just like a sort of Western kitchen knife, but it's made in Japan very, very well. Although it's kind of a budget knife, because you can spend a lot of money on knives. Like, the shop I bought it from had more than £1,000 knives. I was like, wow, I'm not in that sort of price range. My cutting skills don't deserve it. But when I see people, when I walk around cities and you see someone go past with a really posh car, I do think to myself, you've spent a lot of money on that. You've spent hundreds of thousands of pounds potentially, and you've got a really nice car, but I've definitely got a better synthesizer than you. That's what I think. Like, my synth is a bit like your car, but for synths, which isn't strictly true, because really we're talking like CS80s, but I'm like, synths are my cars. I drive a Skoda, so for real, like, I have a family. Cars are practical. It's A to B for me. Synths, however, no thank you, practical. I'm happy to have the least practical, most stupid thing, because it's cool. Ooh. Well, look, I think I missed one. Yep, I missed one. Where is that? Oh, it was hiding right at the end here. Totally missed that bad boy. Oops. Well, we've got one left. Tonal Access asks, what is my favourite synth? That is a good question. Never add up the modular. That's a fool's errand. Well, I'll tell you what. There's no favourite synth as such. It's a Turing Machine. Partly broken Turing Machine is my favourite synth. Yesterday, I shot a video about the PWM Malevolent, which is a British-made synthesizer, which is made by PWM, which is a new company, and the guts are, yes, the beard is growing, the guts are made by Finlay Shakespeare of Future Sound Systems. And basically, it's I think it was announced Super Booth, wasn't it? And basically, it's really small. It's a little like keyboard mono synth. And there's a video that you will see eventually that's got me and another guy basically just in the studio exploring it. And I was really impressed because it's like the Malevolence, one of those things. I think when I first saw it, I was like, this looks cool, but hey, it's a mono synth. We've got those. Yeah, there's loads of mono synths. But it's definitely one of those things where it's, what's the word? It's just got a really distinct character. It's like, for want of a better term, it's quite polyvoxy. Not that I've ever owned a Polyvox, so I can't, just sort of, but it's got that kind of what you would expect from something that's like really warm and fuzzy and gnarly, and different. It just sounds not like anything else. It doesn't sound like an MS-20. It's not like, although it's very resonant, but it's not MS-20 resonant. So the PWM is the company, Malevolent. It's really good. I'm like, wow. And there are some moments literally in the video where I'm like, wow, this thing sounds really good. So you will see it, I'm sure. But yeah, I wouldn't say, well, I don't know if it's my favourite synth, but it's just a synth that I've tried recently and was quite impressed by. And it's like quite affordable. Like it is sort of, I think I want to say like 450 quid or something like that. And it's like semi-modular, and the modules are modules, like they can be used independently from the synth. So, I mean, even if you just considered it to be a modular, it's very, very good value because all this stuff, one bloody oscillator will cost you 200 quid. Yeah. The base station 2 is great. I have got the base station Aphex station and I've not spent very much time with it, but it sounds amazing. It's like super acid. And yeah, that's right. Paul, I now forgotten his surname. Think. But yes, Paul used to work with Innovation, and he is partly responsible for Peak as well. So he is a well-versed in cool synths. Okay, so we now need to find the capacitor bag. Paul Whittington, and he's really nice. And very passionate and doing cool stuff. Is this yes, that's the capacitor bag. Identify the 6-1N capacitors. They are on a card strip, orange and labelled 102. I think I remember this from when I built the Turing machine originally. Bottom text asks, why do you reckon modular synths in Eurorack appears to be an older man's interest? I guess if I had to make a boring practical reason, it's probably disposable income, because I couldn't have afforded this when I was 20. Do you know what I mean? It's only as I've gotten older and done YouTube videos to earn my modules. Do you know what I mean? That's how I've been able to amass more than I could ever afford. It's just the reality of it, because it does add up. And it's hard to, no one starts out and just buys exactly the modules that you need and no more. It's an exploratory thing. But thank goodness there are readily available second-hand markets. Yeah, disposable income, which is true. I mean, it's really true of all of this. And the majority of sort of, hobbyists, people who aren't professional musicians, it's the irony is that, true professional musicians probably can't afford a lot of this stuff. It's hobbyists that are the people that really prop up these industries, which is daft, but it just is what it is. And it's good because it does bring the costs down. 6 1Ns. Oh yeah. 6. They should be on a card strip. That's not 6. That's more than 6. My car was $6,000, but that's how I bought a second-hand car. So my modular synths are worth more than my car, unequivocally. I don't own one standalone synth that's worth that. And the car is really, really useful. And the modular is really nice to have. I couldn't really live without the car, annoyingly. Well, I have tried. I'm confused. Where are my 6 1Ns? Because there's, or have I've got 12 100Ns. That's this. Oh, they're the ones that aren't in a card, surely, because they're just loosey-goosey in the packaging. Okay. Sai says, but why do you need more than one synth? Get out. Just get the hell out. You're not welcome here anymore. None of that kind of talk, thank you. Practicality can do one. Ah, gin. Right. These actually say 102 on the side. So, find the capacitor bag, identify them. We've done that. I identified them. They're these. Break off 4 of the caps and save 2 for later. Okay. Oh, fire one across the room, please. If you $3,500 is pretty good going for a car. It's just like, oh, there is that kind of thing. Like, I mean, I bought a Skoda because I was like, these are supposed to be super reliable and they're nice and boring, and I can get parts. But even so, it has proved to be expensive to keep the thing on the road. But what can I say? I need it. Okay, so solder these into C1, 2, 3, and 4. Helpfully, that points at them. What was it? C1. Oh, there's C1. Aye. Oh, come on. Yeah, I have, we've taken like the Skoda to the decent garages as well, like the sort of, not official ones, but there's like these reasonably well respected garage, you know, like an official dealership basically. Not like the Skoda garage, but a kind of Skoda's like preferred partner. And it has hurt. It has hurt really painfully. I think, sadly, on all the modules I could have purchased by just making sure that I had working brakes. But working brakes allow me to continue living so that I can purchase modules in the future. So it's all right. Bye, Synthetic. Have a good meeting. Go get him, Tiger. C3? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. Yes, these are where they belong. Always double check. Kids. Is it on? Is this thing on? I really want an electric car, but I really don't want to have to pay for an electric car. That would be the way. When's Behringer's electric car coming out? Let's have that. That would be definitely a good use of resources. We can't all afford a Tesla, Tom. Work must be going very well for you. You missed me bigging up the PWM Malevolent. It's dead good. Tom knows that too. He was there, man. Bye, Mark. Thanks for coming to the world's most engaging live stream. Kev, if you manage to cycle in Leeds and not die, you have my undying respect. For this city, Leeds, because that's where I am, it's basically like, I really don't understand how the road layout has been designed the way it is, but it's, I think it's an attempt to do sort of population control by design, because it is confusing at best. I genuinely don't understand how like electric cars will be able to find their way around Leeds. Ah, you live in York. Well, that's a nice city too, but busy. Like, it just seems to take a very long time to get anywhere. Hence the bike, I guess. Yeah, I do like Leeds. It's my favourite thing is Lane's Espresso near the station. You'll see me in there some mornings. Getting a coffee. Getting into the batch brew. It's nice. Rather than just getting like big milky coffees like I'm a big baby. Okay, identify the 12 100N. I have identified them. Ah, yes. Kev is mentioning the Tetley car park. Was it the Tetley at the weekend? in the sort of fun zone with my son. They've got like a little like play park, play center thing. Oh yeah, I know I soldered this socket. Don't worry, D. Burgess, it's soldered in. Or have I missed one? Yeah, I missed one. You're absolutely right. Oh, thank you. You have a point. You absolutely do. Thank you. And that's absolutely not the right size. There's more of these things to come. I see why it encourages you to just go to bed. Give up and go to bed. You'll only hurt yourself and potentially ruin your new toy. I am eating the components, yes. For iron. Ooh. Oh, good grief. Someone I used to work with once told me a story of going to they went to a party. This, if any of you are squeamish, you might wish to not listen to this bit. He went to a party and it was like a children's party, and he bit into a bun, and in the bun there were like, they'd put like little silver baubles on the top, but they were pins. So there were basically pins in the cake, and he bit into it and it went into his gums, which is just the most like awful thing I can possibly imagine. It's like having a delicious cake and it's full of pins. So sorry. Okay, you can come back now. Well, maybe. Yeah, it's awful, isn't it? Ow. Concurrent viewers is dropping off rapidly as well. It's like, hell no. I mean, it's like one of those urban legends, but he told me. I mean, awful, isn't it? God. I need a beer too. But I've got gin, so that will do. Cheers. Except not cheers. It's Friday, isn't it? I mean, some of you probably at work, trying to look busy with me on in the background. Yes, I'm doing something useful. It's Friday afternoon. Jonathan says, people put pins in punnets of strawberries. Oi, why would you do such a thing? Straubs. Anyway, thank you, D. Burgess. Let's return to where we were, because you were absolutely right. Break off 7 caps. Bust 7 caps into its ass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's me able to count. I'm a big boy. Effects music, you're on a train right now. It's modern age, isn't it? Amazing. You're on a train somewhere. Thank you, Mr. Burgess. Or Mrs. Burgess. I identified them. I broke off 7 and I soldered them into 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 and 25, which are positioned variously. No, 19. These 100N. Did I solder in those capacitors? Yes. C19. Where's C19? Look, I'll just do this so you can actually see what I see. You know what? It's actually slightly easier for me to see that by just showing you on the internet than it is. Look, because I can see C19s in there. You can actually see how shaky my hands are. Oh, good grief. Wow. My inability to put a wire into a hole is laid bare for all to see. Oh my god. I'm actually like a grown up. Why is that not going in? No, okay, there we go. Delayed train. Well, wherever you are, you can be here virtually. It's late, isn't it? Where you are? I mean, you're an hour or so away. I mean, I forget that people are going around, like, people have lives and they are going workplaces and doing things. We're not all just, like, sat doing, like, hobby craft on my Friday night. Although I think building a Turing machine feels to me like the sort of, like it's, I feel like a Jedi building my own lightsaber. Because a Turing machine is so sensationally useful. It's literally one of my, if not my favourite Eurorack module. Like, absolutely, I shill hard for that thing. Because it is great. It's just like a sequencer, a modulator. It's just brilliant. It's a shame that it isn't like off the shelf. Do you know what I mean? Like, why is there not an off the shelf one? Because I guess it would be like literally one of the best selling modules, maybe? I don't know. Could be. Oh, my son is crying. Folks, you're all just going to have to sit and wait. Yeah, he's crying. Oh, bless. I'll leave this going, but you're just going to have to sit and wait. Sorry. Oh, he's okay. Just a bit sad. Wait, he's still going. Let's give it a few minutes. And then I am going to have to go back. Sorry. This is literally like live parenting. But basically just giving him a chance to settle. And if he doesn't, then I will have to go back. Oh, I've unplugged this, which was a good idea. Is he going to sleep? I think he's okay. I'm going to plug this back in, but we might... I may have to disappear again. Bless the little pickle. Yeah. Thank you, Michael, for the Victorian parenting suggestion. Brandy, don't help him sleep. I mean, actually, he is crying, so I may give him some Calpol because I think he's been teething. Oh, pickle. Yes. No. I want to give him enough time to settle, but I think I may have to go back. There's been a sort of lesson of parenting is not to go immediately. Yeah, he's 2 and a bit, so he's not so tiny. He's kind of he's a long unit, but yeah, I think he's definitely had some teeth stuff lately. But give him, I'm just keen to give him a chance to settle. But if he doesn't, then I will. Let's try Calpol. Baby gin, Calpol, because I think he might have some teeth problems. This is not high enough. Kaolin and morphine, yes. My mum had that stuff. That was sort of like awful tasting. Kaolin was like sort of if you had an upset stomach, wasn't it? Yeah. Luckily, things to give kids are a lot tastier than they used to be. I mean, he actually is really good in the sense that when he's feeling rough and you offer him Calpol, you're like, would you like some Calpol? He's like, yep. Yeah, it makes me feel better, so yes. I'm smart enough to know that it's in my interests. I don't want to feel rough. Kaolin morphine is clay. Like the record state for anyone who is concerned that I seem to be carrying on and ignoring my son, that I think he stopped crying. I'm listening carefully with my one good ear. And I don't have music on for that reason. Is this in focus? Ah, Adam, you have a newborn. It's the best. But yeah. Well, definitely I can recommend the whole... Like, controlled crying is the wrong term. It sounds cruel, but, well, the system was to... For the parents among us, and I'm sure there'll be many who are familiar with it, is like... Obviously not early on, but there is a point like... I think, well, when is it? Like 4+ months? Where you can start sort of introducing it. So that when they cry, we would set a timer so that there was a set amount of time, because it's very tempting to rush immediately in. But by setting a timer, you know that there's a fixed amount of time. And I mean, it's so long ago, I've actually now managed to forget. But I think you start small, like with 2 minutes, and then build it up. And it worked really well, because the most amazing thing to me, and I remember like when it happened, is like you were going to rush in, and then it's like 2 minutes have passed, and you're like, he stopped. He's absolutely fine. It's like, oh, I could have rushed in there and made a colossal rod for my own back for like the next like months and months and months. Total axis 1 hour time. Well, that's a little bit, that's a touch on the cruel side note. He's not crying. I can stop this, I think. Yeah. Here we have got white noise. I did think about putting together a small case for him, like a little, you know, like a slow LFO, white noise, and a filter and some delay. You know, I could get him to sleep with that bad boy. I should do that. I was thinking about doing one of those 10-hour videos of like 10-hour noise to relax to, and just doing a sort of relaxing synthscape for helping kids fall asleep. Yeah, soothing sounds for a baby. Shout out to Raymond Scott. I bought the whole... Oh, hello, Tom. I did indeed buy... I bought the 3 CD set of Soothing Sounds for Baby when I had a son. And I don't think I've ever played it, because it's quite maddening for something that is supposed to be soothing. Little Miss Echo, though, is very relaxing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hello, Tom Whitwell, father of this. I'm building your baby. And it seems to be going well so far. I haven't come up to the go to bed instruction, which I'm potentially considering violating. But my son has been weeping upstairs, so I had to go and settle him. So if that happens, maybe we will have to call it a day if he remains upset. I've definitely forgotten where I'm at, though, with all of the things that have been going on. I had this strip. These are the 12100 ends. I was to solder 7 of them, and I can't tell you, did I solder? I mean, I have soldered some. Yeah, that was it. I was going to solder more, and then I had to go and attend to weeping son. So C19 to 25. No, 19. Let's do this again. It's actually better when it's like that. But I hope you're well, Mr. Tom Whitwell. I'm doing better than I am at putting capacitors into the little holes. I was thinking to say, oh, look, there you go. Here are little shout outs. Tom, can I please just have a shout out in a later revision, even though I've done nothing to deserve it? Or can I just have one? Because, like, I said on this stream that I think that the Turing Machine is probably my favourite Eurorack module, so I feel that definitely has earned me a shout out, right? There's a bit of space here. Can I please have my note? I just think that'll be cool. My name in lights. Oh, fame at last. C21. What was it? To 25, which is to say, do these ones too. C24. I have a question for you, Mr. Whitwell, because I was using my Turing machine, or one of my Turing machines. I've now got 3. Well, I've got 2.1. I was using it in this video, and although it was locked, it was unlocked. Like, it was locked but unlocked. Like, it felt that it was not quite, the lock wasn't calibrated. And I understand because I built my first one, and it's been so long that I've forgotten how I built it. And the second one I received built. Should I recalibrate the knob? Is that what it is? Does the big knob go out of calibration? And should I recalibrate it, as I believe I am going to have to calibrate this one? He's gone. Tom has more important things to do than answer stupid questions on the internet. I could try recalibrating it. That sounds non-committal. We don't know that. I mean, would it go out of calibration? Do you know what I mean? Would your big knob drift given enough time? Is that a possible thing? Calibration is the level of noise versus the randomization. That sounds intriguing, but I'm not sure I fully understand. But it sounds like something that could happen. But I don't know, the parts drift? Do they, in their service life, as it were? I guess they do. Well, that's the card. Card spent. Solder the 7 cap into place. Okay. This is not going to be a problem, is it? Uh-oh. We're just going to have to use loads of, fine solder. Solder. Ow. It could drift with temperature. Well, I wasn't doing it now. Well, no, I had taken it out, though. Literally, I went to film the video in York. So maybe, because I took it on the train and, it had undergone some climate change, as it were. Tom, sorry, that doesn't completely make sense. My wife is taking the piss because I'm talking to a YouTube video. I mean, I would be concerned if you were saying the words out loud, assuming that I was hearing it, but the thing is, the YouTube video is talking back to you. So, such is the wonderful world we live in, where such things are possible, and such things pass as entertainment. I mean, I make no promises. It's me just building a module and putting a camera on the process. There are 57 people watching, and thank you for Giving up your precious time to watch paint dry. Tom, can you confirm or deny if you'll definitely be at the gig? Because I wonder if anyone's in London and is going to Heinbach's show at Cafe Otto. Because as per the Why We Bleep, I'm sure Tom Whitwell will be warming up for him, doing a full easel set. But I am going to... Yes, you are going. Oh, great. I will definitely be there. So I will see you there. If anyone else is going, if you're in London and have already got tickets, because I think it's sold out, Heinbach is playing at Cafe Otto next weekend, I think. And I'm going to go, along with Mr. Whitwell. A big modular crew represent. That'd be really cool. Nice to go to a gig. Nice to leave the house. I mean, yeah, genuinely. Wife now freaked out because YouTube said my name. Yes, Tom Whitwell's wife. This is the YouTube speaking. We're all big fans of Tom's work here. So we like, whenever he shows up to YouTube, we all like to say hello to him and ask him how he's doing. He's a real VIP guest around here. Okay. I think I need things from this. Identify voltage regulators. I wish you would. I'm looking at 78L09. Catchy. One of the great voltage regulators, that. And the 7 series regulates voltages to such a high standard. The stakes are high, folks. We're going into the scary bag of scary bits. There's 2 of those, so I assume that's it. Christian, my flush cutters. Look at these bad boys. Yeah, I have got small ones, but I don't know where they are. So it's the big ones. Bobby Dogstone asks, what ICs are in the kit? These ones. Which will have confusing numbers, which will mean things to Tom Whitwell. And will probably be, I'm sure there's lots of equipment manufacturers who are looking at that and jealously wishing that they had so many chips in their hands. I've got them all here, folks. Mine. The 78L09 looks like a transistor, isn't a transistor. It does look like a transistor, actually. So it was confusing me that it said voltage regulator. And I'm not actually joking. Like, genuinely, I am sort of half aware that transistors look like that funny sort of shape and 3 legs. Dear Bottom Text's wife, this counts as research, watching other people do things, but you can watch me make awful mistakes. It costs you nothing. Put them in the holes, yeah? I think there's some advice. There's an orientation here. How hard can it be? Just shove them in the holes? Any which way. Doesn't matter, does it? Okay, I'll put them in a way that it let you see what I'm doing. Oh. Oh. I thought we had it. Yeah, it's a clean drop. Yeah, I'm orientated correctly. My flat side is according. I wish I had some pliers. I wished I had pliers about 2 hours ago. Ooh! Bent that. Oh, I think we're okay. That's right, isn't it? Well, helpful having the person who invented this just watching me over my shoulder. Tom, do you mind just not going to bed? Way past the go to bed instruction that you've put in your own. I mean, it's quite a funny instruction, that. Like it's late, go to bed. But you're probably right. And especially if there are people who are doing this and it's not like the first kit. It's not like I know what I'm doing. I'm just following instructions. Ah, effects music. Well done. Yeah, the legs are looking a bit bent, aren't they? It's just, does it matter that these poke up loads? Do you know what I mean? Is this the back side of the module? Oh, no. That's the back side of the module. So is there a level of clearance that I want to like maintain here? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, is that too much? Do you know what I mean? Should I push this down more? I'll just bend these right down. I'm sure it'll be fine. Well, that'll happen naturally when I bring these together. I think that's fine. Nope. I can't remember what my actual first build was. Oh, I think it was no. It was a 4MS RCD. I'm fairly sure. And it wasn't actually a very good first build. I wouldn't recommend that. Personally. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Tom, from YouTube. Tom, thanks for watching. Lovely to see you. Try the fish. Oh. Yeah, RCD is a tricky one. Would not recommend. But, you know. Ow! We got there in the end. We did. Did it. I did it. I did it. I did do it. I also built a bloody peg. Good grief. That was a 2-evening job. I've actually done a lot of DIY, really, bit by bit. I've just been doing this a long time, I suppose. And it's just like, it just sort of creeps up on you. Yeah. Peg is a difficult build. I don't know if, I mean, there's also that problem of when you build a module and you have to check it works. It's like, well, never used it before, so I don't know what working looks like. I can only assume that this probably works, you know. Next, solder the 2 electrolytic or 10 UF capacitors into positions C5 and C6. They are, I do like the little thing that points. You know, it's like, there, idiot. There. I mean, it's actually genuinely useful. Electrolytic caps look like little boxes or little barrels. Where are they?
yes, you can have a Turing machine in Germany. Get it ordered from Thonk. Although I don't know if there's, you know, duty and other things to pay. Good old Brexit. Let the record say that I do not think Brexit is good. Anyway, moving on. Can of worms, table 2. That's got to be those, unless there's other caps. But yeah, if you're not done DIY, I would definitely recommend it as a vehicle to getting one of these modules, because the Turing machine is just the greatest, module, and you know, I think there's no one has championed it quite with such passion and that dedication. I think it's fair to say it's unrecognised, and that whoever is responsible for the Turing machine could simply acknowledge everything I've done. That's just all of those things that I've done for that, you know. Just, it's not much. Just a little shout out, just, you know, just one little name, just printed on the thing, along with a link to my Patreon. And it's too much to ask. I don't know, maybe. Okay, this is genuinely where I need to check the orientation thing and focus. So the shorter lead on the component should go into the circular pad. Can you see it there? Circular, shorter, circular, shorter, circular, longer, squarer. Et voila. Shouldn't there just be a big thing on there that's just like the stripe should be on, like the other side? Do you know what I mean? A thing that was like striped that side, not short, long, because that's quite, yeah, surely easy to get wrong. Thank you, Brian Bell. See, look, that looks right, isn't it? I think I've nailed it. Yeah, definitely don't think I've nailed it. Shorter, circular, is that what I said? Oh my god, this is hard. The shorter lead should go on the circular pad marked with a minus on the PCB. Short, circular, short is circular, yes. Yeah, 10% of all earnings. I think that would be absolutely fine. Thank you. Might help me build my studio quicker. I think that looks good. I do think it should just have like, it should be based on the stripe. But maybe they don't all have stripes, and that's the problem. So, you know, you're putting stock in and, oh, these are stripe free, and then people are like, there's no stripe, I don't know which way it goes. I've actually not done a video about the Turing machine, and I really should. Like just a straight up demo. Someone on Etsy sells them for 127 quid. Nice. Like what do you mean, like the Thonk kit's built? Or like his own sort of DIY version? So I was going to say, yeah, that's not a lot more than the kit. So it's like, the person is not paying themselves very well for their own time. Maybe they're just ruthlessly efficient and don't take 2+ hours to build a module. 2 hours, and we're literally here. I mean, paint drying would have been quicker. Maybe I should just speed up. What could possibly go wrong? Let's get real like frantic and sort of shaky. Brilliant. Okay, we did that. We soldered that. Now we soldered the 3 female dual row sockets into place as shown. There are 2 6-pin sockets and 1 10-pin sockets. Cool English, bro. There are 2 6-pin sockets and 1 10-pin sockets. Okay. Here and here. Mech bag. Oh, you'll find those in the mech bag. Mech. Just saying that to sound cool. Where are these in the mech bag? There's one. Separate done. Watching a man shuffle through a bag live on the internet. This is what passes for entertainment in 2022. Now, I really do want to get these straight because I know that this is going to be how the board's like sandwiched together. Are you talking about my solder sucker? Engineer SSO2 solder sucker. It sucks. What is the best way of getting these to actually remain flat while you solder them? Tips gratefully received, because I'm just going to have to try this technique. The height's a little slightly off. And this is definitely one of those. Get one leg in, look, because it's raising off. That's a bit annoying. Stay. The solder sucker itself comes with a replacement silicon tube in the packet. Yeah, solder one pin, that's what I'm trying to do. Side G, I am not getting... Do you see this? Look, I literally just bought one because of this stream. That's worth the credit. Come on. That little space there. Stick it in. An extra vision. Is this thing on? I was really tempted to like touch the end. That would have been a mistake. Okay, so I soldered one of the legs of each of the things. Looks flat, doesn't it? Flat as F. Sweet. Thanks, Mr. Fun. Who are your other top 10 soothing voices? It's got to be Heimbach. I mean, what a voice. I was very proud to do a podcast with him and excited to see him next week. Give him a cuddle his sweater. The first time I met him, well, actually the only time I met him, was in a club in Germany after Super Booth. And he told me, I had a dream about you. I was like, what? And I can't remember what he said the dream was about. But he said he had a dream about me. And I was like, gosh, it's like I died and gone to heaven. What a wonderful experience. Heimbach had a dream about me. I've had so many dreams about him. His dreamy, dreamy voice. Relaxing vibe. It's all very incestuous, this YouTube lark. I am coming to Super Booth. Yes. So I will see you there, I hope, if everyone is coming. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Synthesizer. Excuse me. Yes. So yes, that's those things. What next? But yes, Super Booth. It's going to be great. Looking forward to it. Now we have to do the little hedgehogs. Two hedgehogs. Two 16-pin hedgehogs. Get them on the correct side. Oh yes, an important hedgehog. It's the one that connects the power to the module. Actually, well, that's the power hedgehog. Come here. Isn't it? Yeah. Red. MC202 asks, what's my latest music find? It is not really the latest one, but I will just say it for the avoidance of doubt in case anyone isn't aware of the band. The band is Bitchin' Bahas. Bitchin' Bahas, who are sort of cosmiche outfit from America, who sound like they should be like a surf rock band, but they are not. They make the most blissful, amazing, melodic, sort of hypnotic music. And like one of the greatest things about their tunes are how on some of the tracks, the tunes go on for like 16 to sort of 16 minutes or so before the beat kicks in. So like minute 16, you start to get the beat. Absolutely brilliant. Bitchin' Bahas. One of their albums, Bitchatronics. Absolutely incredible. And what's the other one? There's an album which is literally called Bitchin' Bahas. So Bitchin' Bahas, and then Bitchin' Bahas, Bitchytronics. And then, yes, they did like a Sun Ra thing, and they are playing at Cafe Otto. And I don't think I will be able to get down to see it exclusively because they're playing on like a Monday night. It's really hard for me to get to. But yeah, buy the Bitchytronics album. Oh yeah, new Bogdan Rosinski as well. I was listening to that. That is also a good thing. It sounded really blissful and like really different. Yeah, I know I'm not soldering these, Tom. I'm just trying to like get them in, make sure I've got them on the right side. Yes, don't get that wrong. And just get them straight. I suppose it doesn't really matter, does it? Because that's just going to have headers, you know. Agostino Alsamo asks, have you been making pizzas lately? Have you been talking to my wife? Because she's really annoyed that I haven't. No, I haven't, and I really need to get back into the habit. But I need to buy a massive bag of Caputo blue flour because I ran out. I bought like a drum and bought like a 25 kilogram bag of flour, and it lasted for a year, and I've just run out. So I need to buy another one, especially now because apparently wheat is going to get quite hard to get hold of. So, yeah. Get another bag quick. It's the stuff that they use at pizza restaurants, the Caputo Blue. Yeah, I bought a pizza oven in lockdown, and it's definitely a good move because it is brilliant. Perfectly straight, but they don't need to be. Oi. Do I need to solder all these pins in? I'm going to be here all night. Ah, yes. 25 kilograms is a lot of flour. I had to buy a special like drum to put it in that's got like a lid that can seal really tight. It's got like a sort of metal ring that goes around it so that you don't get weevils, during a year, because obviously it can spoil. But yeah, it's loads. But it's also, because of the cost, it's way cheaper than buying like kilogram bags, and you just have to find somewhere to put your drum. But if you have like a weekly pizza ritual, it's not such a crazy thing. And occasional parties, it just means that you've always got enough flour. And I did do the maths, which was that after paying 25, well, the 25 kilogram bag, I think I paid like 30 quid for it. And I worked out that it was basically costing me 3p to make a pizza. I was like, oh yeah, we're pretty much pure profit at this point. There it is. That's the other thing that needs to be soldered in. Soldered in. Yeah, that's hoarding is not useful. It's like when lockdown happened, people are hoarding toilet paper. I loved the person who was like, seriously, how much do you shit? Like, your shitting amount cannot have gone up. So why do you need more toilet paper? But I guess there's nothing logical about it. Hedgehogs. Hedge pigs. I'm sure I can make that last. Don't worry, Tom. But look, this is like SMT, or is it SMD sort of gauge? Or is that? Oh no, that's a little bit fatter, that one. That'll be alright. Oh yeah, thank you, Augustino. K Tempest is awesome. It's good tunes. Identify the fuses and solder them in. Yeah, I'm very much running out of space, but I've got more of a different diameter. This is 0.8. No, it's 0.8 meters. What is the grade or the width? Or the diameter, I think that's the word. Yeah, 24-hour Maplins. Oh, Maplins, R.I.P. R.I.P. in peace. And Tandy before it. I remember Tandy, just. What's going on here? It's like when you get a sellotape. Oh, yeah, it's a good diameter. We're in business, yeah. You had an interview at Tandy, amazing. Talk to us about that. I'm guessing you didn't get the job, otherwise you wouldn't have said I had an interview, ... and I got the job. It sounds like you didn't. These things, please. These, I guess, is what we need. Oh, didn't get it. I don't know what the Tandy, sort of qualities Tandy, what demands it put on its staff. I have very little memories of that place. I mean, I do remember going into Maplin and sort of thinking, like, it's kind of amazing that there's even a shop that has this stuff at all. And within a few years, there wasn't. Yeah, it does seem... I mean, I'm literally making a module on the internet, but I am a niche. This is like a big, big niche. Most people have got better things to do with their time. So, identify the two fuses and solder into place. There's no orientation, but you've got to have big fuse in the big fuse place. I mean, they're both labeled fuse. I mean, it just literally says small fuse, large fuse, cardboard box. Okay. Ooh, bent it. Yeah, Tandy literally was Radio Shack in the UK. It even had the same, like, font. And yes, this is lead-free solder. We don't have the leaded stuff here. Make me go mad. Mad enough as it is. Yeah, so Tandy was like Radio Shack, but I never really understood the extent to which they were. And then at what point Tandy then morphed into Maplin. So there's, I mean, I'm sure it's but a Wikipedia away, but that was the sort of the thing. And it sort of sold, sold consumer electronics and then, soldering stuff, which is just components, which is kind of bonkers. And then, we had Maplins, but then Maplins has died recently. So it's sort of like it's one of those things where I guess Amazon did the consumer electronics better. But yet we still inexplicably have things like WH Smiths and I don't know, I guess they have a need. The best thing about Maplins, obviously this is something that you can now solve on the internet, but I remember when I got into making kits, and I've said this in videos, but if anyone's watching this and has never made anything, the secret to learning how to solder in a way that doesn't destroy your expensive kit is build some silly toy kits from Maplins. But obviously there is no Maplins anymore, but I bought like a 15 quid kind of like noisemaker kit, and I built that, and that, it was expendable. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you spoil it, but it was some practice, and at the end you actually have a little working toy. Like, it works, I can do this. And so little toy kits are like the way of building up your capabilities without having to, use your 100 quid kit as a way of just, hopefully getting it in. Okay, so we placed the ICs. What is this? Pliers. I do need pliers. Oh, Tandy Corp bought Radio Shack in 1963. Tandy equals thonk. Yeah, I see what you did there. I long for the future where there's just like thonks on the high street. You'll replace the 8 ICs as shown. Oh, I see. I'm just reading the thing. It's like you will need to splay the pins come like bent in, and they come bent out, and you have to bend them in so that they go like they socket properly. Yeah, I probably don't need to do that. I'm sure it's just advisory. Am I supposed to like rub my hands on like wool before I touch these? That's the way of doing it, isn't it? Yeah. The whole push them on the desktop. You mean push them flat, but I would actually put them on the side and roll them slightly just to toe in the sort of chips. God, there's like numbers, and it's important that you get the right numbers. And it's like, what are the numbers? Wait, I can't read them on there. This is like an Amazon special, by the way, Mr. Fung. It's just like a soldering mat. It's just good for its like slightly non. Oh, can you imagine chewing an IC? Well, I did talk to Justin at Abstract Data, who said that he's consumed surface mount parts by accident.